Here we are, first time in Israel. Just got the shakedown because of my first name. Asking me questions like what my grandfather's name is, where was my mom and dad born, and why did they name me Khalil. Kind of freaked out for a minute there, I won't lie, but all well that ends well, and here we are, about to have a good time. The University of Maryland School of Public Policy offers students incredible educational opportunities, both inside and outside the classroom. For example, the school's International Immersion program provides students with the opportunity to travel the world and see firsthand how policy is implemented, the impacts of policy, and use the skills and talents that they've learned in the classroom to make a difference and make real change on the ground. This is a chance to see policy making happening real time.
We're often talking about sustainability as something we do in the future, that we adjust policies, we adjust institutions, we adjust practices to make them more sustainable. There's an aspirational aspect to the idea of sustainability. Many years ago, I found that in Bali, and I think many other places, there are certain practices that mirror how we talk about sustainability. Here's a case that's over 1,000 years old in which it actually works.
So we went from, in Bali and in Sumatra, we learned about things from like the ground level, and we actually saw like what was going on. And we went to Jakarta, and then we met with these policymakers who would deal with some of the more high-level issues.
I like the idea of policy as a dialogue between the wisdom of local communities, the knowledge of local communities, and what policy analysts, policy makers bring to that dialogue.
The practice of sustainable development and their ideas of implementing sustainable development in a pretty earlier stage of a developing country makes me think a lot. It's like it does not provide you with a solution directly, but the value of it is it provides you with a way of thought that may inspire yourself to think about something else that could probably lead to the solution of your question.
Your mind becomes much sharper when you're in that sort of situation, and I think you learn a lot more.
I learned so much. I did not expect to learn so much, but just being there and just being conscious, having your eyes open, it's impossible to not soak in everything there.
Morocco is a very, very exciting place to visit. It's beautiful. It brings cultures together, because it has the French and the Spanish colonial influences, along with the fact that it's part of North Africa and of the Arab world. And so it really brings cultures together in a sort of unique way.
In today's context of the Middle East being at the forefront of many of our international security issues that are dominating the headlines today, Morocco is a very interesting case study.
But substantively and academically, why Morocco is so fascinating is because politics, development, security, women's rights, they all come together in a very nice way. And these are also topics that our students find fascinating from different specializations. They see how the different elements influence each other.
So we would learn, all of these topics, but learning that they all matter in most situations. And so that was really interesting to see.
It's a way for them to sort of see a holistic picture and also to be able to put things in a comparative perspective, both with the US as well as with the region.
Certainly the political dimensions are very different in Morocco than they are here in the United States. So you can actually see the implications of policy in a very concrete way, which is very interesting and hopeful that what we're doing here actually matters and we can do good things outside of the walls of Immersion.
They grow a lot. The students who've already spent a lot of time abroad, you can see that they're they had probably a preconceived perception of Morocco. That changes quite a bit. They learn about things from a more academic perspective as opposed to maybe their more practical experience when they're in Peace Corps.
We packed a lot of information in there. I think by the end of the 2.5 weeks, we were almost experts in Moroccan policy. One of the real benefits of this program, one is to get to know other students. And so particularly as a part-time student, I don't spend a whole lot of time in the School of Public Policy.
You have a chance to meet students who you might not have already met at the school, and because you're in such a kind of an intense experience where you're living with them day in, day out for a couple weeks, you get to know them really well. So it was just kind of a very nice thing to seal that in celebrating my birthday and getting to have so many new friends around me. So that was a really kind of wonderful social aspect of this trip.
India is one of the countries that is most important to the future of the world. It's an amazingly complex country. It's a place of beautiful chaos, and it's a place where it's very important for our students who are interested in international development or NGOs to gain valuable firsthand experience.
One of the greatest opportunities and experiences going to India was embracing the complexity of the country. It's the second most populous country in the world, 1.2 billion people, and just wrapping our heads around how many people that was and how complex that makes the social sector was very interesting, very engaging.
The India program is a unique abroad experience where our school students basically take their education and skills and apply it to accelerate the outcomes and mission of leading NGOs in India.
We're paired with 3 NGOs and 3 teams to work in Delhi. So the 3 organizations we worked with were SCORE Foundation, which supports people who are blind and have visual disabilities, creating a fundraising and strategic plan for them. There was also Youth Reach, which focuses on empowering girls and women. And that team created a program evaluation tool, piloting it in a village outside of Delhi. And the final team was Wildlife Trust of India, where they created a fundraising strategy for an environmentally focused organization.
This is Nonprofit Management and Leadership, January 2015 class. The usual suspects.
I love you, Khalil! Different teams of students, each of them immersed themselves with one NGO, working very closely as though they were staff of that organization on an important leadership and organizational challenge.
It was unlike most trips that we've gone to. We went there to work.
An employer wants to know not only have you gained skills, but how have you applied them? And the India Abroad program allows our students to really apply all the skills and education they've got in the policy school in a way that is tangible and is something that will attract employers to them.
I used courses on fundraising and philanthropy and strategy. Program evaluation courses were applied. And it became a hands-on opportunity to put the skills that we've learned to use.
The most was just being able to take everything that I've learned over the last 3 years and kind of funneling it into one moment and then just say, go, use all of it to do as much good as you can, as fast as you can.
We get to use the skills that we've learned in the classroom and implement them on the ground, helping nonprofits maximize their programmatic work, expand their fundraising capabilities, and expand their sphere of influence and ability to make real change on the ground.
The students will be meeting with the top leadership of these organizations, and you would see them changing their policies. In fact, the Wildlife Trust of India has already launched a fundraising campaign based upon the team's strategies and ideas. And so these are not just projects where they sit on a shelf. Each of the students were developing projects for the leadership of these organizations that they then immediately looking to apply today.
Having a master's program that embodies these kinds of experiences, meaningful study abroad experiences, to take those very valuable aspects of typical study abroad and marry them with intense professional interaction and deliverables with the partnership and supervision of more senior NGO professionals is very rich and very unique.
This is just a small sample of some of the trips that the School of Public Policy has to offer. In the past, we've sent trips to Israel and to Jordan, and in the future, we're looking on sending more trips to China and to South Africa, and even expanding to further locations worldwide. These experiences are only available through the unique School of Public Policy International Immersions program.